Hello, my name is Mark Peterson, and I like to collect ancient coins. I am a follower on YouTube of the YouTuber Silverpicker, and he put out a really good video recently called Ultimate $20 Coin Collection. Yes, it includes real gold. What I'm going to show you doesn't include any gold, but I was inspired and challenged by him at the end of the video. He challenged people to make videos of a good $20 coin collection that you can learn some things about numismatics from, and that might be impressive to people that you show it to, or meaningful and worth owning, especially in these days where budgets could be particularly tight for people, or people are hesitant to spend money because we don't really know what's going to happen in the near future. It's important to be able to build a collection on a budget. You can still enjoy the hobby even if you don't have very much money. So I'm going to show you a few ancient coins that altogether could cost around $20 or even less. So we're going to begin with ancient Rome, and the example that I have here is from Crispus, who was a son of Constantine, and he acted as Caesar even though he never made it to emperor. This coin does have his portrait on the front. It does have the legend, and you can make out some of the letters. It's not in the greatest of shape. I bought it for $1.50 several years ago. You'd still be able to find coins like this pretty cheap, pretty easily. On the back of this coin is what's called a votive wreath that says VOT and V. That's a promise. That's vote for votive, V for Roman numeral 5. It's a promise for 5 more years of ruling effectively and serving the people. It's a pretty common reverse for this time period. Here's a coin that I have from Constantius II, and I bought this coin in Europe for €2 out of like a bargain bin. It's got some soldiers on the reverse. Here's a coin from Constantius Gallus. This is another part of the Constantine dynasty. This coin's a little larger and a little bit better shape, and it was a gift, so I don't know what was paid for it. But it has a reverse that is known as the Fallen Horseman. So it shows a Roman soldier spearing an enemy soldier off of a horse. It's pretty epic. And it's also a very common reverse design around this same time period. And a smaller one in similar condition as these two can easily be had for the same amount of money or even less. So these are 3 very common reverses for late Roman bronzes, and we will leave this Crispus coin up here as our example of an ancient Roman coin in our little $20 coin collection. The next coin I'd like to introduce to you is from China. This is called a Wu Chu coin. It was minted between 118 BC and 7 AD. It's a cast coin, which is a little bit nerve-wracking because a lot of fake coins are cast, and there are a lot of fake Chinese coins out there, but it is a little bit crusty, and actually when you're collecting Chinese coins, crusty ones are sometimes preferred because they're less likely to have been faked. But a coin this cheap is probably not likely to be faked anyway. You see that there's no design on the reverse. On the front, just these 2 sides. And I bought this coin for $3.50. It might be hard to find one for that price now, but looked online. You should be able to find one of these for $8 or less pretty easily, maybe even $5. Or similar Chinese coins from the same era. I chose this one because it's pretty prevalent, and I think it's an attractive coin. So now we'll look at Judea a little bit. I'll show you this one first, even though it's a little bit of a nicer example than what you might be able to get for $5. It is a very common coin, minted under Herod Agrippa, who is one of the Herods who's mentioned in the Bible. He's one that is struck down by God for being prideful. He was also well connected with Roman history. He lived on, I am blanking on the name of the island right now. But when Tiberius was in exile, Capri, he lived on Capri with Tiberius, and he actually did tutoring in school with Caligula, who he was friends with later, and he acquired more and more of his kingdom from these Romans that he was connected to. His biography is absolutely fascinating, and his coins are super common. The most common ones feature an umbrella on one side and 3 ears of barley on the other side. This is a $20 example of this coin. A $5 example is not going to look this nice, but they're definitely out there. I will represent Judean coins for this little collection with this guy right here. This is a lepton minted under Alexander Jannaeus. It's from 103 to 76 BC. It's one of the most common Judean coins. It's frequently referred to as a widow's mite in reference to the biblical story. It's a parable by Jesus where the Pharisees are kind of rebuking a woman for only putting 2 of these coins into the temple offering. And Jesus says that she was more noble because that was all she had. This is a lepton. It's the smallest Judean coin at the time, and mite was like a slang term at the time of the King James Bible for these small coins. You will see these marked up a lot because it's a biblical coin and people like to take advantage of that. You can find these things for like $60 some places. It's ridiculous, but they're super common. You can get them for $5 anytime. They're always online super cheap if you get a kind of crusty one, especially when you can't really see the full design. This one has a wheel on it, and there's actually lettering in between all the spokes, but you can't see that at all on this coin. Judean coins are often off-center. So an off-center, kind of worn-out, crusty coin like this, easily just a $5 coin. And lastly, I want to include a silver coin, since this was inspired by silverpicker, and you can, even in a $20 Ancients collection, have some precious metals. This coin right here is a punch metal coin from Karshapana in India, and they were made between the 5th and 2nd century BC, which is a pretty wide time frame, and people who know these more expertly than I do or have better examples than I do might be able to tell more specifically when this coin was made or where it was made. And some of these examples will go for, you see coins like this for $40 or $50 if they're really well stamped and in good shape, and if you can tell something about the coin from it. These lesser ones, like this one, that don't have a lot of information on them, are pretty cheap. This is a $5 coin still. I think it was about $5 when I bought it. You can still find them online for pretty cheap. They were made with a flattened sheet of metal that was cut into squares or rectangles and then stamped. Some of these stamps are original to the coin. I think they included 5 stamps originally, and then the other ones would have been added by merchants afterwards. So the stamps denote things like the weight of the coin and kind of verify its authenticity, or did at the time, although it probably wouldn't have been hard to make fake ones of these, even back in ancient times. So there you have it. There are 4 coins that are ancient. They're all over 1,700 years old. Some are over 2,000 years old. They represent Rome, China, Judea, and India. And all together, you could have these 4 coins or 4 very similar ones for $20 or less. $3 for something like that, maybe $7 for something like that, 5 and 5, that would be 20. And you might be able to do better than that, especially if you're buying these coins boots on the ground in a coin show or coin shop. So you can get into Ancients regardless of your budget. It's not hard to start. There's plenty of really common coins out there that are still very interesting. And one little piece of encouragement I'll add about Ancients is the ones that are worth a lot of money and that are very rare are usually minted by kingdoms or people who didn't rule over a lot of land or didn't rule very long, and that's why there aren't very many coins. Really prevalent historical figures who controlled a lot of land would have minted a lot of coins, generally. And there's exceptions to the rule, certainly. But a lot of people, including Herod, who's pretty well known from the Bible, and Constantine, one of the best known Roman emperors, are pretty easy to get coins from because there are a lot of them out there. So if you're interested in history, it's a great place to go ahead and collect, and don't be intimidated just by the fact that they're ancient and assume that they're unaffordable. Thank you.